Hello, hello, hello. Greetings, beautiful souls. I am Alicia, Bharani Madahari, the Heart Whisperer. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Drop-ins and newcomers, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is a pleasure to have each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your time and energy with me and with each other and the collective. Today we are asking for messages about a significant guide in your life. And we have 3 piles today. Pile number 1 is this beautiful fawn card, card number 35. And this gorgeous crystal, Amazonite, carved figurine. Pile number 2, we have the Friends card, card number 46. And this beautiful orange calcite crystal. And pile number 3, you have the Singer of Courage, card number 8, and you have this carved angel, which is bloodstone jasper, the green with the red through it. Check in with your higher self, take a deep breath, and ask yourself which pile is for you. Timestamps are in the description box and comments for those of you on your phone. And I will see you at your reading. Bye. Welcome to your reading pile number 1. Today we are looking at a significant guide in your entourage, in your support team at this time. You chose this absolutely beautiful Amazonite carved creature, carved figurine, and you chose the fawn, card number 35. So beautiful. Let's dive in. You have Miracle, card number 33. The frequency of miracles supports our belief in ourselves as part of Source, and therefore our belief that anything is possible. I love this for you. Pile number 1. And from the Dragon Oracle deck, you have the Watcher. Oh my gosh, we've got 333 here and 35, which is giving an 8, which is giving infinity, which is my ring. So first and foremost, the significant guide that's coming through for you, what I'm hearing in my mind is Picasso. And I'm not saying that Picasso is your guide, but what I'm seeing, there's a picture that I'm seeing in my mind of Picasso where he is very old and he's learning he's taking ballet dance lessons. He's well into his 80s at this stage, maybe even older. I don't know what age he passed at, but that's something you can look into at your own time. But the other thing is, when I was in, I believe it was Antibes, which is in the south of France, there is a whole museum dedicated to Picasso, and he bequeathed a lot of his paintings to that museum, and he spent time there. The time I was there, there was a whole collection dedicated to the fawn, and it was really, really interesting and beautiful to read, the little cards and look into his thought process behind the evolution of how this art came about. And the thing with Picasso also, what's coming through about Picasso for me is that, if you look at, he was one of the fathers of, I think it's Cubism. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I'm not an art historian. But I remember growing up, like some people saying, oh my God, he just drew a line or he just did that and this, that, and the other. But he was highly, highly trained. And the evolution of his art is a whole, like he wasn't just randomly taking out a page and just drawing a circle and whatever. He built up his expertise and then his art evolved out of it. And what's coming through for this, not only the fawn, is he was also experimenting with painting with light. So he had this real experimental energy about him. And he had this pioneering and willing to play with his materials, his mediums, and really explore. And that's what I feel like this significant guide is really coming through. And how this significant guide, I mean, one of the things that I'm asking is, what do they partner with you on? And it's this guide also has that energy of innovation, of being a trend, not even a trend setter, but a pioneer. Like, you're not taking the path less traveled. You're not two roads diverge in a wood. You create the road, you create the path, you come up with something new. It's more like, as you know, the parable where Jesus walks on water, and it's like the stepping stones emerge. The path emerges as you create, so does the path unfold before you. And that's what this significant guide is really helping you with, to really tap into your incredibly innovative and that pure creativity, but also the idea of miracles, that because somebody hasn't perceived it before, and it could be very tiny, it could be, I don't want to say like it's not going to be so obvious as walking on water, let's say, but like your process, because a process happens in tiny, teeny baby steps. Like, you might not be aware of how much of a miracle it can come across to somebody. And I'm also hearing that phrase that people get rewarded in public for what they've spent years practicing in private. So your whole, as is everybody's, your whole life is a process, but this guide really helps you with the creative expression. The Watcher speaks to having that zooming out energy, taking the spiritual perspective, like flying above the clouds, flying high up so that you can take in the whole picture. So, you know, when you're working on a painting, you're not working on the whole painting at once. You're working on, you know, maybe layers of painting. Maybe you're sketching it out. Then you're doing different processes. And it's really cool. I like to watch how people build up their art, and, you know, where they do it over time, and then you can watch it on a YouTube reel in, you know, kind of 10 minutes or something. Like, you can watch weeks or months worth of work just condensed down. So that's kind of what I'm being shown. Like that zooming out process. People might not get it. Then when it emerges, they're like, oh my gosh, that's a miracle. But being able to have that eye of detail, and also be able to have the patience with yourself, and to have the patience to stand in what you know that you're working on, while other people are going, like, will you just have some direction? Your head is in the clouds, blah, blah, blah. Your head is in the clouds for good reason. That's what I feel like this guide really partners with you on. And I feel like that they have that energy very strongly in them. And let's pull some tarot and see what else your guide would like to share with you. Page of Inspiration, stop. So pages, they're full of promise, pure potential, head in the clouds. We were talking about that. And the hair is an antenna. This is really giving otherworldly to me. She has two familiars, one in a very protective place and one kind of in the back, just watching over the environment. The ground is pink. She has got rainbow hair. It's a rainbow cloud. Like, you're so unbelievably creative that helping you structure some of that energy is what this guide helps you with, because you might even get literally overwhelmed with the amount of creativity that is bursting through your aura, through your veins. If you didn't learn this is giving me throat chakra, it's giving me Archangel Michael, and it's also giving me Archangel Gabriel. It's giving me crown chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra really, really strongly. So you're channeling all this beautiful creativity into 3D. But in order to do so, you need to be able to protect it. We've got the cats here, the familiars protecting, and you need to be in a safe, familiar space. But you also need to be able to be safe to bring that forth. And over here, we've got very strong, we've got the purple, that's giving me third eye chakra, crown chakra. It's also giving me royalty. And royalty is reminding me of patronage. And I'm seeing the Medicis, and there's this book, The Poet Prince, which is kind of interesting. It's a trilogy and it's a fiction book. I was thinking about it recently, but it's basically akin to some of the content, let's say, that's in the Dan Brown series. I forget what it's called. Oh, the Da Vinci Code. But I'm we started with Picasso. Now I'm seeing the patronage and having somebody patron you. So this guide is like a patron for you to really help you steward that energy that is flowing through you. And the owl here also is giving wisdom. So I feel like there's a lot of beautiful messaging and coding that comes through whatever it is that you're bringing forth creatively into 3D. This is so, so beautiful. I'm also seeing Da Vinci and Michelangelo, and there's, oh wow, Muse of Materials. We were just talking about grounding this into 3D. And this is just really telling me that you have absolutely, even if you kind of turn around and say to me, but Alicia, I don't actually have a body of art. I don't have a body of work. Your whole life is a work of art. Believe me. You being able to ground your energy into this earth as you walk through, being able to be able to deal in 3D because of how high vibrational, high frequencied you are, how in touch you are with realms beyond this. You might feel like somebody who finds it hard to navigate in 3D sometime, like more so than others, incredibly sensitive, wondering why everybody is attacking each other. It may feel like that for you because you're so sensitive and so empathic, and you probably pick up on a lot of thoughts and feelings of other people, and then you see it manifest in actions. So it's like you're in a war zone because there's so much competition for energy, for airtime, for space. Everybody wants to be seen and be held, but you've really learned how to see other people, and that protection is coming back again, having that sacred space, being able to create that sacred space, not only so your energy can be settled enough so that you can bring forth what it is that you're creating, which essentially is you. You're your own muse, and being able to, I feel the way I want to describe it is like your aura is painting a life, if that makes sense. Oh my gosh, you have the star card. Stop. You again, this is a card of wish fulfillment, rejuvenation, renewed hope. I feel like you're a lighthouse to other people. I feel like people really, really look up to you, whether they show that to you or not. They really do. They see you as so colorful, as so vibrant, as so alive. They know, whether they would articulate it in this way, they know that there's something incredibly ethereal about you, incredibly spiritual about you, incredibly that they can't put their finger on it. They wonder where you get all your ideas from. They wonder how you're able to, have such a richness in your vavavoom for life. You're vivacious. Even when life is punching you in the gut, you're still able to tap into the light, which is amazing. I'm not saying that you don't have times where you're feeling overwhelmed, where you get depressed, where you need a friend, where you need support. I'm sure that they have seen, especially those that are close to you and in your corner. I think that they have, and what I'm hearing is that they've seen you go through the whole gamut from, down I don't want to say down in the dumps, but from being kicked and pushed down and very, very low to very, very high. But what you're always able to do is you're always able to rebuild yourself and find healing, rejuvenation, and reconnect yourself with the light and shine again. No matter how dark it is, you are a light. We can only see the stars because of the darkness around them, because of the light that's shone from the sun upon them. Really, really, really beautiful pile number one. Wow. And I'm hearing that song by Jessie Reyes, Love in the Dark. we're only human floating on a rock, but I think that you are made of stardust. Unconditional. You put up with so much. Oh my gosh. Six of Cups. That's a card of inner child emotion. You have an incredible imagination and you have a really, really rich inner world. You're very intuitive. You're very tapped into the rhythm of the universe, of your own inner being. You're really good at taking care of your inner child. You have such an adventurous spirit. You can do so much. And here we have the card of Hermit, which I'm not surprised came out. But it's what you do in your hermit stage. You connect with your guides. You connect with your inner being. You connect with your inner child. You connect with your art. So beautiful. And again, your art may be just not something so literal. It doesn't have to be a painting or writing or music or anything like that. Just you. And I'm hearing that Carole King song, my life has been a tapestry of rich and royal hue, a never-changing vision of an ever-changing view. There might be some messages for you in that song as well. Oh, wow, the Tower. And the Tower, it is, I mean, look at the lightning coming out from, I feel like you're a mover and a shaker. When you show up, and these cards are very similar colors. I'm getting like a soft, soothing mint green. I'm getting heart chakra, but I'm also getting higher heart chakra, like going up into the higher realms. I feel like even when you bring life is never the same after you've come into their lives. And I'm hearing that phrase. Sometimes we come into people's life for a reason, for a season, or for a lifetime. Those that you have touched, they have learned what you can do internally. Who you are internally is so powerful, so strong. And they never see life the same after you have passed through their lives or after you have come into their lives and stayed. Really gorgeous. Oh my gosh, awakening. Stop the press. Awakening. And look at this. We've got two cards coming out of our crown chakra and coming out of our heart chakra. We have the cosmos here. This is giving me Kali Ma. It's that Tower energy, that Mars energy, that death energy, that transformation energy. It's time for something to go. It's time for something to awaken. It's time for something to change. Bardo, I'm hearing Bardo. You could have Bharani in your chart. Awakening, that's the card of judgment. So that is the card after the sun. The next card, it's you showing who you are. And I feel like you have many transformations. And each time you have a transformation, you're reborn anew and you show the world who you are. And I feel like this guide really helps you with that. And I asked, what do they mentor you in? They mentor you in this rebirth process, but I'm also hearing that you mentor them. You mentor them, and you show them how it's done in 3D, because I don't think this guide necessarily has a familiarity with how this plays out in the 3D. It's like, it's so much, I want to say easier to be free from this density, to be free from this 3D density, to process things and to do the transformation and to forgive and rebirth and all that kind of stuff, at least from our human perspective, because things move much quicker. You're not stuck in this Seven of Pentacles. Patience, are we there yet? The Three of Swords, like all this emotional, like the density of emotions that we deal with on planet Earth compared to on the other side. And you really help mentor them. And you've got the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Materials. That's again speaking to, like, aces are a burst of raw energy, a burst of something new, a promise. you're able to rebirth yourself over and over and over and over again. And that does not mean that like your life needs to fall apart and then you need to rebuild it again. That's not what we're talking about. That may have happened more than once in a lifetime, but you're in a different trajectory now. And what your guide, I'm asking, like, how does your guide communicate with you? I'm hearing through art. They communicate very strongly. So the next time you really feel moved or you really get a message through a painting, through song lyrics, through a melody, through the art that is nature, through a sculpture, through poetry, whatever it be, through movies, anything. This is your guide connecting with you. And what they love about you is your ability to always go within, to heal yourself, to know that I'm hearing, I am God, I am sovereign, I am free. To be able to know that at such a claircognitive, just a knowing stage, just to know. And your mind, of course, we don't have hardly any air on the board. I feel like you have really overcome those 9 of Swords, 8 of Swords, 2 of Swords, like being in indecision. You're very good at working through those energies and moving on to the next thing and giving yourself solid ground. And they love that about you, pile number 1. Peace beyond survival. Peacemaker through inner peace, resolving ancient spirits. You really work with ancient technologies and ancient gifts. And I feel like we're around actually Lionsgate at this time when I'm filming this, but this is a timeless reading and you could be really at a potent time in your journey where all of that nonsense, I want to say the minor arcana really are kids play for you now. And I'm not saying that you'll never have a challenge and it won't hurt. I'm just saying that on a soul level, on the unseen, what you can see, you have access to such power that relative to somebody else, had they been put through what you have been put through and continually, most people would not be able to navigate it with the grace, with the speed, and with the precision that you are. Dove of peace. Stay in the heart, all is well, be at peace. Again, that for me is really just telling me that you are very adept at being able to be compassionate towards others. You have this, again, claircognitive knowing that we are all one. And you're able to meet people where they are, but it doesn't mean that you get pulled down into their nonsense. You've learned how to protect your inner lamb. You've learned how to protect your inner child. You have strong boundaries now. Beautiful. Pile number 1. Expression. Authentic expression. Words are powerful. Truth. Yeah. I'm hearing be impeccable with your word. You're someone who is impeccable with your word. Your life is a masterpiece in integrity. And I mean integrity, walking the talk, but also knowing that the talk is from the mind. The talk is from the unseen. First, it's an idea, a potential. Then it becomes into your mind. Then it's spoken. Then it's written down. And then it's manifest. Wow. Crown chakra. My gosh. Look at all this heart energy, crown chakra energy. You really are. And of course, with 33, that's the age that it was said that Jesus left his incarnation. We also have the lion and the lamb, another symbol for Jesus. So I'm getting that like really connected into Christ consciousness. And we've got the heart energy here. We've got the heart energy here. And we were talking about the walking on water and the miracles earlier on. That is what this guide is partnering with you, and they are learning so much from you as you are from them. So if you wanted to, you could maybe keep, I've never come up with this before, but keep a journal of like where you get inspired, where thoughts come up, and you might start to see over time some kind of patterning of messages from this guide. So absolutely beautiful, pile number one. I am so thrilled for you. If you would like to work with me personally, details are in the description box. At this time, you can only book with me through my email. If someone approaches you in the comments or on another platform at this time, it is not me. Block, report, or ignore. This completes your message. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up or hype if this message resonated. If you'd like to never miss a message from me, hit the subscribe button. And I hope to see you at another reading. I adore you, pile number one. Bye. Welcome to your reading, pile number two. Today we are looking at a significant guide at this time in your life on your team. And you chose this delightful, happy orange calcite. And you chose the card, the Friends, card number 46. Beautiful. You have solar plexus chakra. The frequency of the solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, and our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. And you have the Perceptionist, card number 35. Lovely. So immediately I'm getting inner child energy for you. Support. I feel like you might be someone who didn't have a lot of support as a child, who wasn't allowed to really be in their sun energy or individuate. You might have had helicopter parents or parents who were kind of overbearing, or on the flip side, they could have been quite neglectful. Here, I'm hearing my mother say when I was a little kid, why don't you go outside and play with the traffic? And of course, as a child, I didn't know what that meant, but it was kind of like, you know, that kind of dismissive energy. And really needing to be able to count on yourself to be that emotional regulator for yourself, because your caregiver maybe was not able to teach you how to regulate by co-regulating with you. So I feel like this guide has been with you since childhood, and they may have left and come back, always at your expression, whether it be in your dreams. Maybe I'm kind of getting that they've always watched over you, but they mightn't have always been as strong in your life as they are now. They were when you were a child, when you were in your childhood, and then maybe you just got distracted and busy, and you know, when you were on, you know, sometimes I'm hearing that for the song Sarah Bareilles, sometimes life just slits in through a back door and carves out a person and makes you believe it's all true. And now I've got you. So maybe they were hands off for a while you pushed them away in, I want to say subconsciously or unconsciously. They might have shown you things in your childhood that were hard to digest. And in other realms, a guide will never force themselves into your one-on-one-ness. You have to allow them to be invited in. And I feel like this guide is a very powerful guide. They really helped nurture you and helped you regulate when you were younger. In fact, this is kind of weird. I haven't got this message before. I mentioned that maybe you had a parent that maybe used you to offload their emotional regulation on you. So you had to absorb a lot of it as a child, and then you had to somehow learn how to not only regulate yourself, but also process what was put upon you. But I'm getting a feeling that this spirit guide really helped work with you in that space. And I feel like you could have told this to your parents or whoever the caregiver was at the time, and your caregiver might have really attacked you for it. And not directly saying, oh, you're stupid or anything like that, but they might have made it so difficult for you to actually lean on that support. I'm hearing out of jealousy, which is actually really tragic. And I'm feeling in the pit of my stomach just such shame and pain that you had this support that you turned your back on. This is so specific, only take it if it resonates. But that you turned your back on because somebody shamed you for it. They didn't want you to have other support, and they didn't want you to individuate from them. And not only did they not want you to individuate from them, they wanted you to be their emotional support. This is hideous. I am so sorry, pile number 2. This is really heavy. I wasn't expecting this. The perceptionist, and see here in this perceptionist card, you've got this person with his wings talking to another figure, but there's a dejected figure here, just sat there looking down. And I feel like your inner child really was connected to this spirit guide very, very strongly, but out of respect and out of honoring your free will, when you asked this spirit guide to leave you alone, they did, because they have to. And now this spirit guide is back in your life and around you. And if you want to really connect with them, I would definitely recommend inviting them in, maybe doing some offerings to them, just to strengthen that connection between you and them. This spirit guide absolutely loves and adores you. I'm getting very strong parenting, caregiver energy from the spirit guide towards you, mentorship, and they love you so, so much. But you're an adult now, and you need to exercise your free will to ask them to work with you more directly, if that's what you would like. Wow. Oh, pile number 2. Like, I'm feeling just a sadness in my heart for you, and a pain that you felt on an inner child level when you had to send this, for your own survival, this guide away. This is, oh, wow. Ooh, let's see what this spirit guide wants to share with you. Oh my goodness. Okay. King of Hearts. King of Emotions. Home, the home card. So this could have been a mother who had you push this spirit guide away. They wanted to be your everything. They wanted to be, I'm hearing that Barry White song, "You must be my everything." They couldn't handle you having other support and having other relationships. Maybe as you got older, this mother figure like really interfered in your friendship relationships as well, and maybe your other familial relationships, and maybe even your romantic relationships. This is 6 of Swords. Yeah. Something that you had to move away from, moving away from choppy waters. So I feel like you really got mastery over your emotions. You really stepped into your intuition. You really became more connected to your psychic gifts. You may have had to dive really deep to understand what was playing out in your relationships and in your patterning, in your unconscious patterning, and in what was going on in your environment. Because often caregivers like this will gaslight you, and they will pretend to be your friend. They'll really have frenemy energy, but behind the scenes, they're undermining you. And when you're a child, like if your parents or your caregivers speak messaging over you that is undermining you, that can really permeate and impact. And, if you're came from a family line that had, call it what you want, family trauma, family curse, that kind of energy. And let's just say that they were up at night feeding you, and they were ruminating, and they were talking around you in ways that would have impacted you. They were speaking aloud their perception, their delusion, their disconnection, their victimhood, their desire for you to take care of them, their possession over you, their attachment to you, all that stuff that would prevent you ever from moving away from them, that would not require immense mastery over your own emotional being, your own emotional sovereignty over your own mental space. This is really heavy, actually. Pile number 2. I'm so sorry. You have Aquarian energy here with the Page of Pentacles. Pages are full of promise. This guide, they're so proud of you for individuating, for this mastery that you have really stepped into and become, for moving away from whatever it was that was keeping you stuck. False friends, I'm hearing, hidden enemies. So you might have, I think that's the 6th house, you might have some synergies with that person in your charts, lessons that you're working through or patterns that you're working through this lifetime. Aquarian energy, the humanitarian, the technology, the water bearer. You learned to put some containment around your emotions and not just to let other people just drink of your cup like you're an ever-giving fountain that just flows for other people. The perceptionist also, you may have had to really reevaluate your world view and your world order, because it could have been incredibly distorted through somebody else's insecurity, immaturity, pain. But whatever it is, it's not an excuse. To do that to a child is actually ABUSE, whether it's intentional or not. Now you've got the Ace of Pentacles, Libra, and that's the scales of justice, the balance in one-to-one relationships. You just had to learn how to not overgive and how to give to yourself. The hanged man. You had to, again, have that with the perceptionist. You had to readjust your worldview, turn things around so that you were dealt into your own life. Yeah. Devil. Attachments. You had to work so hard to really change your perceptionist. You're a master perceptionist. You're master at reframing. When you were a child, you did this to protect yourself because you were stuck. You didn't have any agency. You didn't have any sovereignty. You didn't have any power. You had to tell yourself that this person, that ABUSC was love, basically. 7 of Cups, card of confusion. What kept you small? What kept you attached? What kept you bound as a child? By turning that on its head, by using those gifts. And hear me when I say this, those gifts. There is nothing wrong with you. There never was. Believing what you had to believe to survive, that was magic. And that was power. And that's what this guide wants you to know. They want you to know that what you did was incredible. And being able to free yourself and move into calmer waters, to be able to turn your whole perception around, inside out, and to rise above it and gain mastery over it and to liberate yourself from that confusion and turn it into options. You are a master. Oh my goodness. The Ace of Cups, 2 aces. And now you work with Spirit. You've partnered with Spirit. And this guide, they communicate with you through your dreams. They absolutely adore you. If you notice little synchronicities, like things that you love, let's say it's, you know, a ladybug lands on your forearm or a dragonfly lands on your forearm. I'm getting winged creatures for you, actually. Or maybe hummingbirds show up, or a lot of birds show up around you, or maybe a lot of animals. You get messaging from this spirit guide from that place. I feel like you could be someone who has trouble taking people at face value because you have been gaslit and you have been lied to. And you sometimes need to see you need to see how people show up in person before you give them the benefit of the doubt. It's not that you judge them, but you allow them to show you who they are before you will invest in them now. And that's what you should have been raised to do in the first place. The 2 of Pentacles. This is interesting because this is a card. So you're going from the Ace of Pentacles into the 2 of Pentacles. So that's beautiful progression. This guide is very strongly willing and available to partner with you. Now you've got Libra and you've got Aquarian energy together. And you've got Uranus energy here with the 2 of Pentacles. So I feel like with this guide in your wings, and this is optional. You don't need to work with this guide if you don't want to. But the invitation is on the table for you to do so. But what it's saying is that what you're moving forward into and what you're building forward into at this time, you have many options. You have incredible gifts. You now have mastery over them. You are now calling in the right kinds of people. And yes, it is absolutely not only acceptable, but it is recommended and it is baseline to let people show you who they are before you invest in them. And anyone who tells you different just wants to get something over on you, or is dealing with some limitation in themselves where they're not able to allow you to come in your own good time. And you are perfectly allowed to do that. You have liberated yourself from this old way of being. It doesn't mean that these things will come up and you'll have to work them in the moment to not fall back into old patterns, but you're aware of them now. What you're building now is coming from a heart space, is coming from having the wisdom to look at it from different aspects and different sides, to feel your way through it. You're not in a rush. What is for me will not pass me. And it's fine to work on one thing at a time. You may have many, many options. There's no need to be confused. You can pick one, you can work on that, and tomorrow will be another day. As sure as winter follows fall, there will be another day. You are highly, highly protected by your angels and your guardians. This spirit guide, what they love about you is how you have risen over challenges that would have really put a lot of people into codependence and possibly addiction. And maybe you've overcome all of those things. They're so proud of you for the ascended heart that you have. Expansion, love for all, playfulness, release the past, for your ability to be able to release the past and to be able to move forward. And you don't hold a grudge against those people who did this to you. But at the same time, you recognize that they have to do their own work. Universe, one song. Archangel Metatron, wholeness, commune, all life, micro, macrocosm. As above, so below, as within, so without. As with the universe, so with the soul. You're such a beautiful energy. Archangel Metatron really leans into play. I feel like you're coming into a time where now you're able to reconnect. Your inner child has gone from this to this. And you're welcome to ride on the shoulders or be carried by this beautiful guide that wants to work with you, that absolutely loves and adores you. You're recognizing the power of vulnerability. And vulnerability does not mean willy-nilly giving people the benefit of the doubt. Vulnerability does not mean lacking discernment. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. The perceptionist, you're a master reframer, and you're now able to use that as an adult and to be able to manifest what it is that you want. You've taken down walls and you've erected boundaries in their place. You're building your confidence. You've recovered from being a bleeding heart to being a compassionate, heart-centered earth angel. It's so, so beautiful. I'm also seeing that this might be a time where you could be moving from the singular into the partnership. So you could not only be just meeting friends, but you could be meeting, a partner in, I want to say in love, in heart, in matters of the heart. So that could be it could be a relationship. You could be meeting your person. And sovereignty. I feel for you, it's really important that this lifetime you had to learn how to take your time, how to build slowly, how to move one step at a time, how to really protect your inner child, how to be able to take the space and the time to be able to make decisions for yourself based on feeling your way through, and also having that, being able to apply discernment. And anyone who loves you and honors you and respects you will allow you that space and will allow you to open up in your own time and not expect you to feel their feelings for them, think their thoughts for them, to be their therapist, their life coach, their all the things that maybe other people have in codependent relationships expected of you, leaving very little time, space, and energy for you to really be this radiant sun that you are. And I feel like you've come through a lot of this already. You've done so much healing. Like, I'm not seeing the 9 of Swords. I'm not seeing the 9 of Wands. I'm not seeing burdens anymore. I feel like you've really processed through this. And now you're just at a very tender, transitional, I'm seeing the butterfly, transformational space where this guide is really there to help walk you through this space, to hold your hand, to hold you up. I'm hearing that Celine Dion, Because You Loved Me, that song. Oh, so beautiful. That's what I feel like if this guy could sing a song, it would be this for you. So beautiful, pile number 2. I am sending you so much love, so much peace. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I feel like this is a beautiful new chapter. You have so much to offer the world. I feel like you've really been through it. I feel like this guide is really here with you, but I feel like you're through the worst of it. And you have a very tender heart and a very tender soul. And you have every right to protect it. And not everyone has a right to your inner world. You will, I'm hearing that song from Leona Lewis. Light up, as if you have a choice. You can't help but shine and be radiant. People will benefit by being in your aura, but you do not need to open up and give them the keys to your inner world, your inner heart, until they ever. And if you choose to do so, you have every right to take your time, and you have every right to make your choice, right to choose, immunity to hooks. This is just a confirmation for you and a reconnection with this guide, and more on a more formal basis. I'm going to leave it there, pile number 2. This is so beautiful. I'm really happy for you that you've been able to navigate all of this. This completes your message. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up or hype if this message resonated. And if it did, do take care of yourself. If you'd like to never miss a message, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to work with me personally, details are in the description box. At this time, you can only book with me through my email. If someone approaches you in the comments or on another platform, it's not me. You can block, or you can report, or you can ignore. I hope you'll feel called to subscribe, and I hope to see you at another reading. Bye, pile number 2. I adore you, sending you so much love. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Singer of Courage card number 8. And you also chose this carved angel bloodstone jasper. Gorgeous. You have also got the card number 24 of Earth, the Merkaba in the center. The frequency of Earth activates our deep connection to this physical plane by showing us the beauty of all the aspects of our Great Mother and revealing the more ethereal spiritual aspects of our nature. As above, so below. And you have the Grouch. That's immediately reminding me of Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street. So maybe your inner child has some affiliation with Oscar the Grouch. That's a message for someone. So we are looking at a significant guide in your guide team at this time. What are they partnering with you on? Courage, for one. And again, that grounding those spiritual energies into 3D. You have the Son of Water. That is the Knight of Cups. You have the Daughter of Water, which is the Page of Cups. You have 9 of Power, which is the 9 of Wands. 4 of Cups, a lot of Cups energy. That is 4 of Water, comfort. 4 of Earth, stability. Son of Air, Knight of Swords, apologies. 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Earth, 3 of Pentacles. 10 of Air, 10 of Swords. Death card. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I feel like what this guide is working with you on is really embodying your courage. And I feel like you do that. It's also giving me heart chakra energy here and the Singer of Courage. So using your voice to speak the truth, Be impeccable with your word. I'm hearing the 4 agreements, and we've 2 4s here. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take things personally. Always do your best, and don't make assumptions. And I feel like this card, this guide is really helping you. This is giving me strong throat chakra energy as well. I feel like the heart chakra is the green of the heart chakra. So in order to get to the heart chakra, we come up through our root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra. And what I mean by we come up through it, it's not that you can't access your heart chakra directly. Of course you can. The heart is a portal. It's really the portal between heaven and earth, as above, so below. Figuratively speaking, heaven and earth, as above, so below. The spiritual and the worldly plane. And when you think about that cross, you have at the center of the cross, you've got where the earthly plane, the horizontal plane, meets the vertical plane, the spiritual energies down into 3D. And I feel like also I'm getting very strong blue ray from this. And the blue ray is really associated with the throat chakra. So we've got this idea of speaking truth and speaking the truth of who you are. Courage means to tell the story of who you are with your whole heart. And it's giving leonine energy as well. So the Leo energy is associated with courage. So I feel like your confidence was knocked a lot. And for whatever reason, it wasn't safe for you to have the courage to speak on what is truly authentic to you. And we've got a lot of water here. So maybe you were required to keep your emotions and your psychic gifts and your intuition and that which matters to you, matters of the heart. Maybe inside of relationships, maybe creativity, maybe ideas, maybe your psychic gifts. Maybe you were put down a lot and picked at a lot and criticized a lot. I'm getting that this guide really partners with you in overcoming your inner critic. And I feel like that was levied at you in the past through probably relationships. So we've got the Sun of Water, which again is the Knight of Cups moving forward. But the Knight of Cups would be one of the slower moving energies in the deck. And it can also be meandering. So maybe, and we got that watery energy, maybe emotionally you were never in solid ground in the relationships that you had, but you had this beautiful Page of Cups energy that you were really leading with and offering to others. But I feel like with the Nine of Power, like the potency and the power of what you were offering was not really recognized, was not really valued to the value that it actually was. And you needed to learn how to become discerning and how to really use that energy in a way that served not only you, but also kept you protected and allowed you to move forward in a cohesive and healthy manner where your emotional needs were getting met, but also where you were able to meet yourself. I feel like with the Nine of Wands, maybe you were really, I'm seeing the batteries in the Matrix, you know, when they're all in the capsules and it goes on for like, you have these fields for miles and miles and miles of humans being the power source for the machines. So I feel like maybe your emotionality was a power source for a community, and that was a pattern that kind of repeated over and over and over again. And you might have been really, I'm getting inner critic for you again. So that reminds me of Venusian energy. And I've heard it described that Venusian energy, that it's outwardly serene, but inwardly corrosive. And what that means is you will have a tendency to be self-critical and build other people up. You will see the goodness in other people, but you really attack yourself. So that could be one of the themes that you are working with, and that this guide is really helping you with in this lifetime, to those patterns to overcome. And you might have come from a family. I'm noticing that the Knight of Cups, the Son of Water, is looking at the Daughter of Water, who is in the center of this top row. So I'm getting this Page of Cups energy, this Daughter of Water energy being really for you and really associated with you. And this being maybe the community around you. It's like he's looking at her, but also it's almost like he's looking past her. Again, like just not really being able to see the value in what was the innocence and the purity of what was being brought forward. And you've really come into mastery. The 8 is also giving me 8th house. So maybe you had to push down and suppress that which was important to you, or your sensitivity, because it might have just ended up with you being shunned for having this sensitive side. But also I'm getting that you were required to carry the burdens of others for whatever reason. And I'm seeing the grouch. Again, you might have been with, how do we become self-critical? I mean, part of it is sometimes in our makeup, in our DNA, like we have spiritual ancestors as well as we have, family, physical ancestors or bloodline ancestors, for want of a better phrase. And there could be some debris in your DNA that you're carrying that carries this pattern that you have been working to overcome. The blue ray, again, is associated with the chakra, the throat chakra. And the throat chakra is one up from the heart chakra. And it is next of the 7 chakras. Obviously, there's way more chakras, but we're only kind of looking at the 7 chakras at the moment. But it is that gateway into the ethers, because it's the first of the spiritual, let's say, of the 7 chakras. And the earth chakra, not the earth chakra, the heart chakra is that portal, that green energy is the air chakra, which is discernment. So again, that's reinforcing that inner critic. And it might have kept you stagnant and not able to move out of your comfort zone. And when I say comfort zone, I'm not really getting the impression that that was a comfortable place for you. It just might have been familiar. And that's again leading to me, I'm hearing familiar, familial. It might have been that you had someone who was very critical around you and just nitpicked and negged you before we knew what even negging was. Out of like pure projection, again, the opposite of the Venusian energy, being like maybe they were inward. In order to feel inwardly serene, they were attacking on the outside. And because you had this beautiful Page of Cups energy, this Daughter of Water energy, maybe because you were a female, perhaps, or maybe because you were the youngest, or maybe because you were the sensitive one, or maybe because you were the artistic one. Maybe somehow in the family system, you were the one who was like, well, they have to carry the emotional baggage for the family. And I'm getting ancestral energy from the 4 of Earth. So this is a pattern that you really helped to overcome. And this guide is really helping you ground this overcoming into the 3D, really working with you on some of the ancient technologies that your family line or your ancestral line somehow forgot that they were connected to. I'm seeing the halls of Amenti and the emerald tablets in my mind here with the Merkaba. That's really bringing that up for me. And then with the Son of Air, that is the Knight of Swords. So I feel like you've made incredible progress, actually, and you're moving forward and partnering with this guide. I feel like they really mentor you in kind of in the masculine space. You had a lot of feminine energy, but it needed some structure. It needed some containment, and they're really working with you so that you can be more of a container for your own energy, and you can be more of a container for your, to protect your heart, to protect your own resources. Because again, cups can be also associated with resources and money sometimes. And you're really a guiding light to your ancestral line. I feel like with the Three of Cups, with the Three of Earth, it feels like that you might be learning how to collaborate with others. Threes can be a turning point. So you're having an earthly, the impact that you're having on your family line, on your ancestral line, is being able to make that turning point, mastery over the mental space, mastery over the inner critic, mastery over, emotions that are just out of containment is the word that keeps coming to my mind. And I heard this phrase that someone said to me once was, the difference between a flood and a reservoir is that there's structure in a reservoir. So you can use the water and you can access it as needed, and you can modulate you can modulate use of the resource, which is the water. Whereas with a flood can be very destructive because it's tumultuous and there's no containment around it. And it's also reminding me that, we really, as a society in the modern age, since the Industrial Revolution, this one at least, things have sped up when we learned how to count things and we learned how to build machines again, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, where we've learned how to build machines and we've learned how to cultivate on mass scales. I'm now seeing that documentary from Channel 4 called, I think it's called The End of the Line. It's a good few years old now, but it was talking about how once we got sonar on the fishing trawlers, like we're fishing we're fishing species out of the ocean as a human race. Obviously, there are certain bad actors who are profiteering from that. And also I'm seeing, what's his name? Rick O'Barry, I think is his name. He's the dolphin guy, but he really makes it his business. There's a lot of, let's say, in certain cultures where they capture dolphins for a lot of sea shows and things like that, for people to just go and watch these animals, these mammals, be in captivity and perform. So I'm seeing Mother Earth, like with a flood, with tsunamis, like she's also protecting herself. She's also she's a being in and of herself, but she's also having to protect herself. And part of her protection is releasing and changing and shifting and having her own internal movement, transformation going on. I know that's a bit abstract, but part of the natural disasters is just her growing and protecting and transforming on her own life path as well. And we need to learn to work more in harmony with Mother Earth Gaia than trying to subdue and trying to have mastery over her, if that makes sense. We've got a 10 of Swords here, which is an ending, but an ending is just a beginning. We've got Sun in Gemini energy here. And what I love about this 10 of Swords is it is next to the Death card, and death is all about transformation. And this theme came up in one of the other piles, I can't remember, but death is only the beginning. An ending is, by definition, making space for a beginning. And we live in cycles. We do not live in just one linear open space. In fact, we don't even live in a linear open space. That's just how we experience it on Earth as a human incarnation. But everything is happening all the time at the same time. but we're just coming at it from different perspectives. My favorite, when I was at the ashram a number of years ago, Swamiji was teaching us about this concept, how time is actually a concept that we have come up with to help us order and regulate and navigate this 3D space. Fascinating stuff. And then, so there has been a painful ending, but this is vultures. Vultures actually are part of the cycle. They eat the dead flesh. They clean up the roadkill, for example. So there's always some repurposing of energy. And I feel this guide really helps you with that transformational energy. And of course, that Scorpio, which is not only, it's Mars energy, but it can also be Pluto energy, powerful, small but mighty, and also of the body, anger, of the self as well, that masculine energy, having the action to be able to contain the emotions or be able to use those emotions, energy in motion, to be able to have some structure and direction around how to move forward. And I feel like they mentor you in this way, and they're very proud of you, and they communicate with you. I feel a lot through claircognition. You have a knowing. You also, when you understand, when you settle on, this is a strategy that I want to implement and this feels like the right one, I feel like that's you working in harmony with your guide. Star connection, guidance from the stars, galactic self, unified field. So I'm seeing now the Taurus field. I'm getting a lot of Arcturian energy as well around this guide for you. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be Arcturian or you do. You've probably both had many lives in Arcturian space. But I'm also getting Andromedan for you, the heart of the galaxy. Divine cosmic mother womb. You are loved. You are safe. Rest now. Sleep well. Yeah, I feel like you might have really had an overactive I feel like you came by it honestly. You might have had a very anxious brain, nervous system, inner critic again, thoughts just coming up and having to really think about all the what ifs until you learned, well, it's not happening now. I can take my time. I can put down my roots. I can allow things that no longer need to be or is no longer appropriate for where I want to go. I don't have to hang on to everything. Syrian emissaries, dream for the new earth, time for a new magical life. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of galactic energies coming through for you. We said Arcturian, we said Andromedan, and now we've got Syrian energies coming through for you. So they might be collectives that you might want to connect with. And initiation, yeah, absolutely. This guide is helping you through your initiation, but I feel like you've already been initiated. I feel like you've been through a lot. You've really come out of your comfort zone. You've really experienced a lot of cycles and rebirth energy. And that's just really teaching you about this unity consciousness, about this unified field. And I feel like you're now in a very precisional, like the universe is the galactic, the universe, it's precisional, the universe is math. I'm seeing music now, harmonics, like it's timing and it's math. And I'm hearing that phrase, practice until you can't get it. Practice until you can't get it wrong. Not until you get it right, but until you can't get it wrong. And that's reminding me of chop wood, carry water. That's giving me the idea that like maybe you had somebody who was incredibly critical and then you internalized that and that's the voice maybe that comes up for you when you're having those inner critic, raging inner critic experiences, episodes. And over time, through chop wood, carry water, really through diligence and practice and dedication to having a serene heart, dedication to having connection with spirit, dedication to your intuition, that claircognition, really strongly, just that knowing that I'll just keep going. I'm hearing Thomas the Tank Engine. I know I can, I know I can, I know I can, I know I can, I know I can. That rhythmic energy, and this guide has really been with you all this time, helping you keep on track, loving you through it, and being a soft place for you to land when you maybe didn't have that, or maybe when you were just so exhausted from burnout or anxiety or any of those kinds of things, or your nervous system or your adrenal glands just getting really overused. And I'm seeing, when you get twitchy because you just need to rest. I'm seeing that as being something that this guide has really, really nurtured and nourished you through. You did the work. Make no mistake about it. You did the work. But this guide has been with you, holding your hand, loving on you, and making sure that you're guided and protected and is available for you at any time as needed. Really, really beautiful. This guide is really very, very protective of you. I'm getting kind of grandfather energy, father energy. Really, really, really gorgeous. I'm going to leave it there, pile number 3. I feel like this completes your message. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if this message resonated, or hype. If you'd like to never miss a message, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like a private reading from me, details are in the description box below. This time you can only book with me by email. If someone approaches you in the comments or on another platform, that's not me. You can block them, you can report them, you can ignore them. And I hope you'll feel called to subscribe. And I hope to see you at another reading. Bye, pile number 3. I love you very much, and I am sending you a lot of love. Bye.